an adventure of a lifetime. Taking you all with me right now. You'll see. It's going to be. Destiny was a little bit worried, I think. She is a little bit worried that I'm going on this adventure, but it'll be alright. It'll be alright. Boy, Lutzie's really coming together. He kept lifting his leg, and it was like early morning or something. He has separation anxiety, right? So he's not. I don't think he was sleeping in his crate at night for sure. You know, owners make huge mistakes. This guy didn't make that big of a mistake because he's paying to have his dog trained. But had the dog sleep in the crate at night for sure. So I'm going on an adventure of a lifetime. I'll talk about it in a minute. But I'm talking about Lutzie. And so owners really make, you know, I am. And so Lutzie, you know, he was doing vocalizations, sort of, you know, when he got here in the crate. That's sort of under control. I've made a few in regards to Khaki, my dog. You know, that's exciting him, but I'm telling him to knock it off. Got used to the cats. The Khaki will look at him and just start quacking at him. And then he was like, you know, getting like, you know, all excited. He'll get it. He'll get it. The thing about the bird dogs is they know the difference between wild bird and pet bird. They do. They're you know, I hate talking about dogs in terms of intelligence, like they're smart, you know, but you know, because they don't really think, they just respond. So they pick up on that they're not supposed to respond to the pet, you know. So I know this bums people out that I won't say what's the smartest breed, because it's a dog, okay, and they're all sort of the same. But like he picked up on the cat real easy. That leave the cats alone. So he'll do the same thing with the birds. And Khaki's obnoxious and exciting to dogs. Like, she's this big, you know, big bird quacking it. Hang on, I think my phone's gonna screw up because I have it on the Wi-Fi or whatever. Can you all hang on 1 second and make sure I turn this off? So that should be better. So, really getting it, like, real quick. Like, I told the owner that Lutzie was, like, you know, peeing, well, lifting his leg in the crate and peeing outside. And it's like, that was disturbing. Not really, because the dog just hasn't had enough time in the crate. That's a major mistake that people make. And with the separation anxiety dog, you know, it's clear that the crate wasn't used properly, and then the owner starts being held hostage, so they, you know, don't use the crate enough. Like I said, like, how often would you crate the dog? I can't remember what he said, but I was like, what? That's not right. You know, you should have the dog in the crate when you're home, and make sure it sees you, it gets more relaxed about the crate. So at night, you know, Lutzie's like waking up at 5 or something, and the human, meaning now it would be me, I think he was getting separation anxiety, and that's what he was doing. Was maybe even earlier or later, like maybe it was like 6, because I don't want to get up at 6. I'm not doing that. The dogs have to fall in line with my sleeping schedule. I'll get up at 6, and I was getting up at 6 taking Lutzie out. Especially when I moved him into the Sky Kennel, because, you know, if the dog keeps lifting its leg, peeing out of the crate, that's not getting the dog better. You have to get the dog to stop doing it. That's key with all the behavioral problems you have with your canine. If the dog doesn't stop doing it, it doesn't stop doing it, and it needs to stop doing it for a certain amount of time for it to, like, stick. So that's why dogs come here and they do. All dogs are doing a minimum of, 90 days. I don't care if it's an adult dog or a puppy. They got to do 90 days. I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste Gerald's time. I need to update my prices on the website though, so that it's clear. Everybody looks at that stupid website that's so old. It's like I haven't done anything to that thing. Like, there's like nothing really on there that's like the same anymore. So I don't want to be like somebody paying me. They saw that, So my prices, they have to go up. What else? So Lutzie's snapping too, for sure. It's a very friendly dog. He's also snapping too with like, when I'm walking him at heel, into the house around the cats, he's like, if I stop, he's like backing up and shit. So that's a real good sign. I could tell right away. He's a bird dog. This guy's gonna be no problem. I am going to teach him to go into whoa with, when he comes across bird scent. I don't know if I'm gonna have him. I might have him do whoa, and also he can go in and retrieve it. But I want him to do whoa, because he's a bird dog, So he'll alert to objects with whoa. And if I give him, he can retrieve them. Makes me want to get a Vizsla now. Seriously. I do like the breed a lot. They're so pretty. They are such a pretty breed. I think me and Destiny both have a tendency, well, not anymore, but like, whenever I'm around a Vizsla, I start referring to it, like with a cat, you're always referring to him as he or something. Bucket's a male. Vizsla's the same way, and I think I was doing it at the beginning. I think I've heard Destiny do it a couple times. Like, they're just such a beautiful breed. Like, out of all the breeds of dogs, it's really hard to say what it, you can't say like what's the prettiest breed. That's up there in the top 3 or 4. Golden retrievers can be real pretty too, but a lab can be pretty. An Irish setter, oh my god, some of those dogs are just like that coloring, it just really works for a canine, like that reddish brown. Irish setters are really beautiful. I knew one when I was a kid, a hunting dog. It was our doctor's dog that hunted with us, and I remember that dog. That dog was really friendly. It was just like any other bird dog. He was used for upland game and waterfowl hunting. The guy also had a golden. I'd see him take both sometimes waterfowl hunting. I think they was having the golden jump in the water because the golden has like much, like if it was September hunting or something, like what was it in Missouri? They had an early season, as I remember. There's an early goose season in New York. I don't think we were goose hunting early in Missouri. Maybe it was like teal or something. They had a teal season, wood duck and teal, maybe. I think so. Maybe wood duck and teal. I think it was like a couple weeks maybe in September, because you could, like it's like the end of dove hunting season. Like it would have been like September or something. It's warm. Now it's like that. But that's why I like September goose hunting season, because it's like you're duck hunting, but it's warm. Oh my god, I loved it. Nobody's out there either. Only the hardcore people are out there, so you don't really see anybody hunting. It's only like people like me that were really into it. Like maybe in Old Catherine Creek there'd be one other person who's hunting. But like duck hunting season, like opening of duck hunting, man, it sounds like a war's going on down there. It's just like boom, 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 boom. You know, like, you know, the first hour is just ridiculous. It's like, an interesting fact is wood ducks don't really go anywhere. They stay in the same area, right? So, but really, you stop sort of seeing them. They're smart. That is a smart duck. It's related to the mandarin duck, I believe. They look a lot alike. They're very, very smart, and you really don't. You might see them, you know, but you don't see them as much. Like the first day of duck season, they're everywhere, and then they pick up. Like, I'm not going to that area. I'm getting the hell out of here. So they go to like smaller areas. Wood ducks you'll see in like water for them to swim in. It's like a flooded area. You know, like maybe it's even like just a slough. You know, you'll see them in there. Like you'll be walking to a larger area, body of water, and a wood duck will pop up. So they don't need a whole lot of water. They don't really like it. They'd really like in Missouri, we go over to Illinois and we'd hunt these. They could be like flooded trees, and me and my dad would walk in there with hip boots. So if I was a kid, man, I was wearing hip boots that like the smallest size you could get me was like they didn't have them for kids back then, so it was like a ladies pair of hip boots, whatever like the smallest was, okay, and they were still too big for me. So so think about how small I am. As you know, I wasn't tall. I'm under 5'8" right now, but just under 5'8". So I was like I was the smallest kid in my class for years, you know. I remember filling out the hunting license. How many years that? Peter, how much you weigh? 45 pounds, Dad. Weighs 45 pounds. You know, like that. And the guy would look, son, you're taking your son duck hunting? Oh yeah, he loves it. You know, because I also looked younger. But I mean, I was in first grade. I was going duck hunting. I was totally into it. I just wanted to hang out with my dad. My dad, you know, it was just like whatever. I was into that kind of stuff. My older brother was not. I'd go duck hunting when my dad would come in first grade, second grade, take me out of class. He would show up at the door of the classroom, and the teacher would be, Peter, your dad's here. And my dad would, come on, Peter. They'd say something to the teacher, smiling, and she'd just nod her head. You know, my dad would clear it before he went. It was different back then, too. You could just walk into the school. So he'd show up to my door, like with a hat that he would wear duck hunting, you know, with like, and I'd say, what did you tell her? He said, I just told him you're going to the doctor, like that. Like, and it was so obvious that he wasn't taking me to the doctor, but my mom said that they don't care, that they want you to, they think that it's important that you spend time with your dad, and so do I. Man, I get sort of choked up thinking about it. Because, you know, I know that there's a lot of kids that didn't have that. You know, my dad was an asshole in a lot of respects, you know. He was, but he was all right. He was always nice to me, you know. So he's a weird dude because he'd say racist shit, but he had like real dark skin. There was some movie we were watching. It was Taken 3, I think. No, it wasn't Taken 3. It was Cold Pursuit, and like the same facial structure as like the head chief. Like that's. I always joked, like later on, like I was like, Dad, you look like you'd be the pit boss at an Indian casino. How much you weighing? You know, I don't know, about 235. He always said he weighed 235. He never weighed 235. You know, I remember he used to have 185. He weighed 185 maybe when he was a junior in high school. You know, there was this thing back in the day, like, men would be like overweight, and it really wasn't a deal. Like, you know, like Jackie Gleason, like, he wasn't looked at as like how it is now. You sort of like if somebody's overweight, you sort of judge them like that. That's unhealthy. You know, it's unhealthy. You don't want to look unhealthy. Or think back in the day, maybe it was more like, well, they're well fed or something. Like it wasn't an issue. I remember my mom saying there was this show Cannon, and the guy was really overweight. You know, the guy playing the PI, and my mom said, "Oh, I think he's really handsome." I go, "I don't think he's giant. He's a giant pig." But then my grandfather was overweight, and I think you're sort of you're attracted to what you're used to. So, but my dad was never 235. Like he must have been over 265. You know, he's a big dude, 6'1" or something, overweight. You know, with the big silverback belly. You know how guys get? Like I was starting to get it at 145. I could start getting that. I start looking like, because my frame is, you know, it's small. So and that's supposedly very unhealthy to have that weight around your middle. If I'm 135, I would be like concerned about my weight. But I can visually sort of tell when I'm at, so I try and keep it, you know, in check. I like to be about 130, 132, something like that. A little bit lower, and I'm about 19.5 BMI. I think 20 is probably appropriate for me. I don't know, 19.5 I'm fine too. Anytime you're under 19, it's like, it's not good. Now, I don't know what the upper limit is, but it might be like 24, 25. I'm not sure. You'd have to check. But it's really not good to be. Well, here goes the adventure of a lifetime. I don't know if I'll be okay. I'll probably be okay, I guess. I gotta get chicken. I hope they have chicken. I don't know what shit's in here. Take the camera with me. Guess I'll turn it. Oh, excuse me, seagull. God, I love those birds. Look at how beautiful he is. Look at this guy. Look at his eyeball. It's a great looking bird. I love those things, man. They're really pretty. They are. They're just really beautiful bird. They're everywhere. They're all over in that direction. If you go to Arby's or something over here, they come over by the car and like look at you and make you feel guilty. You know, throw me a French fry. Probably shouldn't be eating that stuff, but they do. I don't know how they do it. Well, I know how they do it. They're a bird. They have down. I'm not really sure where they nest. It's a water bird, probably be close to shore. It's not a bird that nests in a tree. I've never run across like anything like, I mean, I've run across like goose, duck nests. They're sort of out there, like they build a nest, but I'm thinking that they build them on the shore. I don't know. I'm gonna find out. So I got to go in here and get chicken. Let me see who's here. Oh look, a few people. This person, potato person, has to be removed. Because Like, I don't want your gibberish here. I don't want it, you know. Usually you can tell when it's a troll by the name. They're really sort of like brazen about it. Like, I'm a troll. That's what they're just screaming. I'm a troll, pretty much. You know? Like, I keep thinking about one recently. Unlikely culprit or something. It was just like, culprit unlikely. I don't know what it was, but it was just like, I'm a troll. I'm sure the trolls use the same name and stuff. It's like, what are you doing that for? Why are you saying that? You know? Why are you saying that? I don't know. They never have anybody subscribing or anything. Well, they had their other troll account subscribing to their own account. Anyway. See you in a bit.